So in this video we're going to be doing another Facebook Marketplace computer video, but with a twist. So all my previous Marketplace PCs all ran Windows 11, which is cool, but it's not nostalgic. So in today's Marketplace challenge, I'm going to try and find a PC that's running my favourite operating system, Windows XP. Windows XP was Microsoft's main operating system between 2001 and 2006, before it was superseded by Windows Vista. My earliest memories of using a PC were all with Windows XP. I remember we used to have a family laptop that had Windows XP. I used to spend hours making short films with the original Windows Movie Maker, and I remember playing games like Lego Racers and Midtown Madness. Let me know in the comments if you used to play those games. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is Windows XP is very nostalgic, so in this video we're going to scour Facebook Marketplace and try and find ourselves a Windows XP PC. Let's go on with it. So I guess we just search Windows XP and see what comes up. I'm going to make the radius 50 kilometers. I am definitely seeing quite a few computers, but none of them seem to be running Windows XP. That's pretty cool. Someone's selling a brand new Windows XP installation disc for £5. What's this one for £50? Windows XP Retro PC setup. That looks really cool. It comes with a retro keyboard as well. Yep, that has Windows XP. Oh, and it potentially comes with a CRT monitor. That is a very good find. XP Service Pack 3, all drivers installed. Comes with an Intel Pentium 4 processor, 1/4 gigabyte of RAM, and then an extra £40 for the CRT monitor. So this whole setup looks very cool, but if you add up the price of the PC, the monitor, and the mouse and keyboard, it's over £100. The price isn't actually the main issue with this PC. It's 410 kilometers away, just a little bit out of range. So I then spent the next 20 minutes scrolling through Facebook Marketplace trying to find the perfect Windows XP PC, and disappointingly there wasn't a whole lot available. I was slowly losing hope in finding my nostalgic Windows XP PC, when out of nowhere I stumbled across this hidden gem. So I finally found something. It's a listing that's titled Laptop. £30, it's only 10 kilometers away. It's what appears to be a Dell Inspiron 6000 laptop. If we zoom in, it comes with Windows XP Home Edition. It comes with an Intel Pentium M processor with 760 megabytes of RAM. The description says selling a Dell Inspiron 6000 with original charger. Scrolling through all the photos, it appears to be in pretty good condition, and I would imagine back in the day this was a pretty high-end laptop, so hopefully it should be able to run quite a lot of games from this era. So I quickly messaged the seller saying I needed it ASAP. Then I scuttled off to my car, entered the coordinates into my sat nav. The drive was about 20 minutes, but it was successful. I was handed a carrier bag with the laptop, charger, and a post-it note in. The post-it note seemed to have a password to unlock the laptop, which is a bit unusual. I would have thought they would have factory restored the laptop before giving it to me. I was handed this little shopping bag, and it has a hopefully fully working Dell Inspiron 6000 laptop, as well as a charging brick. And inside the laptop itself, we have a post-it note that has the password, which I assume we're going to need to actually log on to this laptop. This is all a bit weird. I don't know why they didn't just factory restore the laptop. Maybe there's some hidden files on this computer. We're going to find out, but first, if you are enjoying this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We've just hit 11,000 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing. I do very much enjoy making these Marketplace videos, so if you want to show your support, drop us a like. We're going to start off by taking a closer look at this Dell Inspiron 6000, checking out the external design and seeing what sort of condition it's in. So the first thing you notice is that this thing is very thick. For comparison, this is how much smaller my MacBook Air is. So from a glance, this laptop appears to be in pretty good nick. I can't see any obvious scrapes or cracks. On the front, we have some pretty hefty looking speaker grills that are front firing, as well as some media control buttons. This isn't something you see in 2025. We've got volume buttons, play and pause, skip track, and stop. And with the addition of a headphone jack, this thing's basically an iPod. On the side, we have what looks like a hot swappable drive bay. And a bit further back, we have a headphone and microphone port, card reader, 2 USB ports, and a FireWire port. Around the back, we have even more I/O. We have what looks like 2 variants of the Ethernet port. If you know the difference, let me know in the comments section below. 2 more USB ports, an S-video port, VGA port, barrel connector, and fan. And finally, around the other side, we have more ventilation and a CD drive. So to open the lid, you have to push this latch. So I'm pretty sure this is a 15.6 inch screen, no inbuilt webcam. We have a trackpad, which is absolutely tiny by today's standards. We also have an Intel Centrino sticker. The power button's up at the top and the keyboard isn't missing any keys, which is a good sign. this laptop was probably looked after pretty well. Just want to quickly take a peek at the underside. This fan has quite a lot of dust in it. I've got a switch to release the battery. Pretty sure this battery's completely dead. Manufactured in Japan with a capacity of 4,800 milliamp hours, which is quite funny because I'm pretty sure my iPhone has a larger battery capacity. There's also a window. We'll be taking a look under there later on in this video. So now I want to see if this thing actually boots up and whether or not there's been any secret files left on the hard drive. Let's plug in the power adapter and see if it boots up. The moment of truth. Yay, and we're actually booting into Windows XP. This is very nostalgic. So what's going on here? The previous user has left all their logins on this computer. And it looks like Adrian has 402 unread email messages. Bruh. The weirdest thing is they've actually given me a password to use. So I'm gonna have to be nosy and log in. So interestingly, that password doesn't work on Adrian's login. No, it doesn't work either. Let's try Matt's login. I mean, Matt's login doesn't even require a password. So honestly, I've got no idea what this password's even for. So finally, we're into Windows XP with the infamous Bliss wallpaper. So before we restore this laptop and install our own games to test, I do want to check out what's already on this computer, see what secret files there are. It appears that the previous owner did give us the go ahead by giving us their password. So let's have a look. So it looks like the previous owner installed a couple of different programs. So there's iTunes, Safari browser, some Norton antivirus software, Skype, some printer software. So the thing about Windows XP is there's no obvious search bar. So you have to go to Start and search through all programs and the different folders to find the program you want. There's Windows Media Player. Let's have a look at that. The design of this software is top tier. I remember it had some weird effects whenever you played a sound. Just found Windows Movie Maker. I remember the epic transitions you could create with this. Let's see what games we have pre-installed. Oh, they got Minesweeper. Whoa, he's doing it. No, I was never that good at this. So me being nosy, the previous owners did leave all their files on this computer, all the photos, but they're all corrupt, so yeah. Anyway, it's probably a good thing that they're corrupt. It would be funny if I uncovered some old Bitcoin on this laptop, but I doubt it. Anyway, I'm gonna have to Google how to restore this computer. In the meantime, here's a compilation of some nostalgic Windows XP sounds. So it's now in fact the next day. It did take me all of yesterday evening to try and free up enough space on this computer to actually install my own games. Restoring a computer back in 2005 was actually surprisingly difficult because you need the original install disk, which I didn't have. So I had to go through the hard drive program by program, file by file to free up enough space to actually install some games on this computer. Anyway, speaking of games, what I'd usually do is download Steam and then install the games I want to test off of Steam onto the computer. But unfortunately, Steam doesn't really work very well on Windows XP. So I had to use the old-fashioned method of putting games onto this laptop. So I jumped onto eBay and I picked up this bundle of old games for £4.36. The listing included 8 random PC games and it was titled Old PC Disc Games, which is exactly what I was looking for. From the listing, it looks like it has a few kids games and SpongeBob, some Medal of Honor games and another game called Men of Valor. Not heard of that before. It looks like some early 2000s NARM first-person shooter. We'll give it a go. Wow, here they are. We'll start with the best first. SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. Looks like it's in pretty good nick. Second of all, we have the Rainbow Fish and the Whale. So next, I've actually noticed something quite disappointing. So we have 2 Medal of Honor games, Spearhead and Breakthrough. I thought these were independent games, but it turns out these are both expansion packs for Medal of Honor Allied Assault, which I don't have, so I can't actually install these games. So unfortunately, these are both useless. Next we have Tokka 2, which looks like a racing game. This is definitely the chonkiest case. Men of Valor. This is a franchise I've never heard of before. Let me know in the comments section below if you've ever played this. Looks a little bit like the early Call of Duty games. I'm curious why this is such a chunky case. Let's have a look inside. We've got the game booklet, which looks pretty extensive. Oh my gosh, we've actually got 4 discs. And what is the game? The game's 3 gigabytes. And finally we have Frankie, Time Traveller and Castle. These are 2 cartoon series I've never watched before. Yeah, we'll see if they work. I then spent the next 2 hours trying to install these games disc by disc onto this laptop. Unfortunately, during this process I found that a few of the games didn't even install onto the laptop, and other games would install but then just wouldn't open. But eventually I got to a point where I had a few games that I could test. So the first game we're going to be testing is SpongeBob Battle Bikini Bottom. There doesn't actually appear to be any graphic settings. Is this like a bunch of mini games? Let's go Chum Bucket. Right, start here. Alright, so it's like a top-down 3D game. I mean, it is running perfectly. I'm getting like 60 frames per second, so I can't complain in terms of performance. You know, I'm not even sure what the goal is. Oh no, it's dead end. Yeah, I'm not very good at this one. I don't know if you can hear that, but the laptop fan is ramped up. Cave Jumper, let's see what this is all about. Feels a bit like the sort of game you play on Mini Clip back in the day. Let's go to the Flying Dutchman's Graveyard. Let's see what sort of games are over here. Oh, let's Capture the Flag. Oh, this is straight up like Dark Souls. Running at 60 frames per second. So I never played this back in the day, but if it was like if this was a top tier game like Simpsons Hit and Run, I'd be curious to know. So let me know in the comments. So I've got the flag, where do I go? Oh no. So the next game we're testing is Men of Valor, which surprisingly installed okay, even though it came with like 4 different discs. So we're getting 160 FPS in the main menu. Let's have a look at the graphics settings. I've put everything to low. I'm going to try and load into an empty multiplayer map. Bruh. Oh, it's just crashed. So that was like the 4th time I've tried to get this game to work, but it's crashed every single time. So Men of Valor isn't playable on this PC. I then tried to install TOCA 2 touring cars. This game wouldn't even install, so it's not playable either. Because so many of the disc games I bought didn't work, I've installed some other games from my childhood. So this is Lego Racers, an absolute classic. Let me know in the comments section if you ever played this as a kid. All of these tracks are bringing back memories. I remember you could actually build your own cars in this game, which was pretty sick. Right. Oh no, poor start. Oh, this game is quality. Better than the new Mario Kart World. Come on, we've got to get first place. Oh, it's got a dynamic map as well. This is way ahead of its time. Oh, I got jetpack. We came last place, but it's my first race, so let's give Magma Moon Marathon a go. We've got a better start than last time. We've got ourselves a green shield. 4th place, or 3rd. All right, we can get past this pirate. All right, we've got a booster. 2nd place. So we now know that this laptop can run Lego Racers perfectly. So this next game is another childhood game, Midtown Madness 2. Let me know in the comments if you also played this game. This is basically Forza Horizon. So for those of you who haven't played this game, it's like a racing game, but there's also a bit of free roaming and police that come and chase you. It's very similar to a game called Test Drive Unlimited that I used to play on the PSP. Playable on this laptop, we're getting around 35, 40 FPS. Not a perfect 60, but it feels playable. So I remember back in the day, one of my favourite modes was like the cruising mode where you could just free roam around the city, and if you crash into anyone then cops come after you. And there is actually like car damage as well, which is pretty cool.
On the right side, a poor finish is still a finish. Some drivers don't even get this far.
So next we're going to test Half-Life 1 to see how it runs on this computer.
Please keep your limbs inside the train at all times.
We're getting around 35 FPS. This is a pretty cool experience. I'm playing the original Half-Life natively on a Windows XP PC from that era. It does feel a bit wrong playing this game with this tiny little touchpad, but it's working.
It's good to see you. Why do we all have to wear these ridiculous ties?
So true. After testing out games, I then decided to clean this laptop, wiping down the entire exterior. This laptop had managed to accumulate years of dirt buildup. I then took a screwdriver and scraped out all the dirt from the intake vent. This was very satisfying. I was then curious what was hiding underneath the glory hole on the underside of the laptop. So I grabbed a screwdriver and loosened the 2 screws. Upon lifting the flap, I was greeted with what looked like the Wi-Fi card and 2 sticks of removable RAM. One of the sticks was labelled 256 megabytes and the other 512. I then wanted to see how practical this laptop would be to daily. I started off by trying to browse the web on my sofa, but unfortunately, even after trying to download the latest version of Google Chrome, a lot of websites just wouldn't load. And Windows XP hasn't had any security updates in years, so I'm probably going to get a virus. I then tried some word processing. This laptop fortunately came with Microsoft Office 2003, which I'm pretty sure it's the same version of Microsoft Office that I used back in primary school. Even though this laptop's pretty chonky by 2025 standards, the keyboard is surprisingly good with a decent amount of travel, giving it a fairly pleasant typing experience. I'd actually go as far as saying this is better than my MacBook's keyboard. In comparison, that thing lacks any travel. I then tried watching a 720p video off a flash drive, which actually worked, although I did notice some frame drops and screen tearing, but overall this should be fine for watching standard definition movies. And finally, I tried using this laptop while riding my unicycle, and this didn't go so well. So there you go, there's my new Dell Inspiron 6000 laptop that's running Windows XP. I do genuinely think this is a very cool laptop and it's in very good condition. I am planning on trying to keep this laptop in good condition because, as we've seen scrolling through Facebook Marketplace, Windows XP laptops and computers in general are becoming more rare, and this is definitely a very good example of one, so it would be nice if I could just keep this for as long as possible. So anyway, that's going to wrap this video up. Let me know in the comments section what you think of this laptop, or if there's anything else you think I should test on it. And if you have enjoyed, be sure to drop us a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see everyone in my next video.